My to-do list used to feel like proof that I was failing at life. No matter how much I crossed off, it never got smaller. And what made it worse was that half the things that were stressing me out weren't even on the list. This video isn't about an app or a system or the perfect routine. It's about one small rule that slowly changed how I live my day. I know, it sounds corny, but hear me out. For a long time, my to-do list was aggressive. It had everything. Work tasks, life tasks, random thoughts, things I might do someday. And the problem wasn't just that the list was long, it was that life kept happening outside of it. Dishes, laundry, making the bed, feeding myself, going to the store. All these tiny things that somehow felt just as heavy as the big ones. So every day started with this quiet feeling of being behind already, like before I even did anything. And the longer the list got, the more impossible it felt to clear, which made me avoid it, which made it worse. My first instinct was obvious. Fix the system. So I started experimenting. I went from listing everything to listing nothing. To listing only work. And then work took over my life, so then I only tried listing milestones instead of tasks. And each version felt right for about 5 minutes. Because no matter what I did, life still didn't care about my system. The dishes still showed up, the messes still appeared, and the small problems that stacked quietly in the background, well, they're still there. And that's when I realized I wasn't actually fighting a productivity problem, I was fighting friction. I was fighting life? That's weird. So of course, what did I do? I turned to apps. So I made a master Notion list. Right? I tried Google List, Google Keep, Google Task, and a few other apps that I actually don't remember the names of anymore. And to be fair, they all worked. Until they didn't. Because every app still asked me to capture the task, organize the task, decide when to do the task. And when something only takes 2 minutes, that process alone just felt heavier than the task itself. And that's when I came across the 2-minute rule. So the idea is simple. If it takes 2 minutes or less to do something, do it immediately. Don't write it down. Don't save it for later. Don't optimize it. Just do it. And at first I dismissed this, right? It sounded too simple. Like, what do you mean? Just do 2 minutes? I really wrote it off for the longest time. It's like one of those ideas that works in theory, but not in real life. But eventually, I realized I was already spending more than 2 minutes thinking about these things, writing down these things, trying to think of a system, than just doing them. For example, when I finish a cup of water, am I going to put it down on my desk, or am I just going to walk over to the sink, rinse it out, and put it directly into the dishwasher? Honestly, that alone will save me 20 minutes doing dishes at night in the span of 10 seconds, maybe? Honestly, I have to remind myself of this rule even when I floss, because I hate flossing. I hate it. It's such a tedious task to do. But it does actually take less than 2 minutes to do. So I just suck it up. 2 minutes. Power through that. It's better for me in the long run. Floss. Let's see, can I think of anything else? There's a ton of things. I know there are. Literally so many things. Putting something away. Hanging back up your coat that you wore when you went out. Honestly, I don't know. Turning off the lights. That's a big one. That literally takes seconds. Turn off the lights, save electricity. Things like that. Yeah, things like that. You can tell the hardest part wasn't doing the task. The hardest part was remembering the rule. My brain was wired to delay, to postpone, just to say, hey, later by default, or just bunch it up later. That's fine. You figure it out later, right? And when life got crazy, and life gets crazy, when work piled up, when I was tired, when everything felt urgent, that rule was the first thing to disappear. And that's a problem. And that's when things got just worse. There were days where I forgot about it entirely before I kind of baked it into my system as a habit. But there's also days where I remembered and I just ignored it because it can be saved for later. No, it's not something I have to live by day, every hour, every minute, but it's there. It's there to utilize. in my general everyday experience. Speaking of crazy life. So, you know, when you're trying to go out of the house, you're putting on your shoes. You're like, I gotta get my purse. I gotta go pack everything. Yeah, this is not the time to be following that rule, I think, because I have gotten in trouble plenty of times doing it, right? I go, wait, let me put away my cup. Wait, let me go charge the controller so we have it ready in time for tonight. Wait, let me turn this off. That one's actually a good one, though. I should really turn off things before I leave the house. There is a time and place for everything. Leaving the house when you're like on the clock to leave the house is probably not the best time. And that just goes to show how much I actually like think about this rule now. How much I think, ooh, will this take me 2 minutes to do? Yeah, 2 seconds? Will this take me 2 seconds to do? Sure, okay, I'll go do it. It does add up. I give it that. It does add up. 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there. If you compound all of it together, if you decide to just do things back to back to back, it kind of feels a little scatterbrainy almost, right? I'm jumping from here, jumping there. I'm getting distracted almost. It's kind of what it felt like at the beginning. I just felt like I was doing a lot, but it got better. It did. I don't feel that way anymore, which is good. It's good, but it was there for a little bit. Now I feel like I just do a lot, right? I'm always picking things up at the floor. I don't know if this is just like a me thing at this point, or if everyone else does it. Whatever. Who cares? But rewiring your brain sounds really cool on the internet, but in real life, it's kind of messy. Nothing's perfect. But slowly, something changed. The house stayed cleaner. Not perfect, but manageable. My to-do list got shorter, not because I got more productive, but because I solved my problems when they showed up. And instead of writing down do dishes later, I just did them. And the weirdest part, it started to feel automatic. Which sounds boring, but boring habits sometimes are the best ones. But really, I've baked so many small things into my day now, cleaning has become manageable. It doesn't feel like a big task at the end of the day anymore. Work actually is manageable. I do little spurts of it here and there when I see the opportunity. And I actually feel productive throughout the day now instead of waiting for 2-3 hour length times to do something. And honestly, I may have taken this into my gaming a little bit. So I'll do a little puzzle if it takes a few minutes. So there are productive things that have come out of this 2-minute rule. And then there are some maybe less productive, but still makes me happy. So I call that a win. But the 2-minute rule isn't absolute. It's not a law. It doesn't work every time. But now, even when I don't follow it, there is a small voice in my head that says, it's only 2 minutes. Or just do it now. And that voice changes decisions more often than I expect. There is no app to download for this, no template to buy. But if you want something simple, put a sticky note on your phone that just says 2 minutes. And if you're like me and want something more aggressive, make it your phone background. Not as motivation, just as a reminder. For a little bit. Just for a little. It doesn't have to stay there forever, but it can if you want. Okay, overall, this rule didn't make me a superhuman. It didn't fix my life, but it gave me a little bit more control over my days, and sometimes that's enough. So if you're trying to build better systems without burning out, this is the channel where I document what actually works and what doesn't. At least for me. Hey, you know what else also takes less than 2 minutes? Subscribing. It actually takes less than 2 seconds. Subscribe and like. You see what I did there? Huh? Okay. I know. I'm sorry. I had to. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.